Good evening, gamers. Once again, unfortunately, I have terrible news to share with you. This is an article from. It doesn't really matter where it's from. You guys don't need to go look it up or anything, but you can just kind of listen to me. I'll read you everything that you need to know about it. You don't need to go look up the website, but it's about the localization for Yakuza 8. Some of you guys might like Yakuza, the video game. I think it's called Like a Dragon now. Apparently, that's what all these posters are saying. I've only played the first one. I don't know too much about it. But from Japan to the world, how to translate a game. And this is causing quite a stir. Some shocking things are being said here. Kind of reflects the state of Sega and the Japanese game industry. You guys are gonna probably gonna hurt your heart to hear some of this stuff, but let me get started. So behind the global success of Japanese video games lies a delicate task, appealing to overseas players whose expectations or issues on such stuff such as sexism are increasingly influencing the content of major titles. So that means is, they're trying to butter you up to get you ready to shove something up your pooper about this whole, the localization stuff. So with the majority of sales for big games now outside Japan, so Japan's not that big. I guess America makes more money for them. Everything from slang words to characters' costumes must be carefully considered for a global audience. Now, what does that mean? Costumes? What do you think they mean there? But it's a complex process that has come a long way since the Wild West of the 1980s and 90s, according to one high-profile localization team. There were no rules, no industry standards, and the quality of localization could vary greatly from one title to the next, says Sega of America team who worked on Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Fucking stupid name too. I bet they came up with that. The localization team, I mean. The latest title to hit Yakuza series releasing on Friday. I don't know if is that this Friday? I don't know. I don't keep up with all this, with all these new games. But back then, translators faced constraints. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? He says, thankfully, the industry and perhaps more importantly, consumers have changed a lot since those days. We are now able to be more faithful to the cultural and emotional content of Japanese games than ever. So he says that they're going to be more faithful, but then they're talking about changing costumes. Localization is now integral to the design process with international gamers in mind from the start. So, that means, they're trying to fuck up your games, guys. So they're talking about the fucking, in the article, they're talking about how Pac-Man got translated from Puck-Man because they were scared, that story that they were scared they're going to write the F word. People were going to scratch out the P and write the F word on all the Pac-Man machines, and thank God, localization fuckers saved us from that. Some smart guys who get paid a lot saved us from the horror of seeing that shit on the side of fucking arcade machines. But he says the task has become, it's trickier than that. Oh, it's not like the old days. It's trickier for something like Yakuza, which set in a real life location and uses slang from Japan's underworld. Getting it right is important. Around 70% of revenue from recent titles in the Yakuza series is from overseas. So they're acting like if they don't translate it, the way they want to translate it, then all the money's in jeopardy, as if it fucking matters what they're doing. So he's saying, oh, people know what ramen is now. We don't need to say noodles anymore. That's some guy named Genti. I don't know who that is. I guess he's on the localization team. His team at European headquarters of Bandai Namco is that Bandai? I thought it was Sega that made this. This is something else, I think, guys. Hold on. Oh, but here, look at this. So it says, no longer acceptable. A better understanding of Japanese culture among players means adaptations can be more subtle. So the Yakuza series is now called Like a Dragon, closer to the original Japanese. LGBTQ caricatures and sexist cliches have also been axed. What the fuck is that all about? Sounds pretty stupid to me. But many representations which were normal in Japan in the first Like a Dragon game. Well, I don't know if they were like making fun of gay people in the first game. I don't really remember anything like that. But if it was there, I think they should keep doing stuff like that. Many representations which were normal in Japan in the first Like a Dragon games are no longer acceptable today, says Masa Yoshi Yokoyama, the series executive producer. We ask our teams in the United States and Europe to read the game's script, and they tell us if they see things that wouldn't be acceptable in their country. Changes often focus on alcohol, politics, or religion. What the fuck is that? What is happening? When there are people dressed in black boots when there are people dressed in black boots and big leather coats in Europe, that could bring to okay, I'm sorry. This guy's named Frogget. He says, this is what Frogget says. Okay, he says, when there are people dressed in black boots and big leather coats in Europe, that could bring to mind a Nazi uniform. So they're saving us from like story beats and stuff like that might make us uncomfortable, like a Japanese guy kind of being dressed too much like a Nazi. So that's what's happening in these localization rooms is they come up with like a costume for a lady, and she might be dressed kind of like a naked Nazi woman, and they go, that's a little sexist that she's naked, and also the uniform kind of looks like a Nazi. So that might have been like, you guys remember a character from Skullgirls that's like that. There's like a Nazi lady in Skullgirls, I think. But they're on top of that so that kind of stuff doesn't happen, and you're not pulled out of it, and you're like, I guess they're scared like you'd be like, what's all this? I don't really like this game. There's kind of like this guy looks kind of like a Nazi. It's kind of scary. Kind of reminded me of the boy in the striped pajamas. So, yeah, and there, so that's kind of what's going on today with video games. If you want to know what I think about it, I wasn't planning on buying Yakuza 8. I don't like that that it's not like a game where you are just punching people anymore. I don't know why they made it so that it's like Dragon Quest. It's not really my kind of thing, but if you were gonna buy it, I'd suggest not buying it. It doesn't look like that's gonna be something very fun. So I've been talking for 8 minutes. I think that's good. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Share this video around. Let people know what they're doing to Yakuza. Love you guys. Talk to you later.